Hi everyone, it's Roger and Matt here from This Kingdom Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking all about the D23 Expo, all the things that got announced, so parks, movies, etc. We're also going to be hearing from Matt of his experiences at the Fan Expo in Canada, which happened the same weekend. I think that's definitely the place to start. Really, is what was the Fan Expo like from the Disney point of view?
Barely anything Disney there. All
Yeah.
we had was Zachary Levi, which is of course was a Flynn Rider in Tangled, and Jeff Goldblum showed up on Sunday right after his stint at D23.
Well, that's all right. That's good. At least somebody turned up. There was the fact that he did that. Kind of interesting seeing like these A-listers going to these fan expos because you wouldn't.
Yeah, our biggest one was John Travolta, and he barely does conventions, so the line was huge for that one.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how this kind of whole convention thing is of like going and seeing them, and people want to kind of experience being around, celebrities and actors and stuff like that. And it's just kind of, in some ways, it's pretty cool that they do this kind of stuff because you go back 10 years and you wouldn't have got anyone like John Travolta or Jeff Goldblum going to these things.
hmm
But anything else from that event that kind of caught your eye that you want to tell us about?
Um, there was a couple of silver coins from Disney and Star Wars and Marvel there, courtesy of the Royal Canadian Mint,
Yeah.
but they're all products from New Zealand. So, like, there was the 9th anniversary Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie coin, which was about $200. There was a couple of Star Wars stuff and some Civil War stuff left over. They had a few Disney comics there, but other than that, there really wasn't much, except for we had Iron Man VR as a demo at the PlayStation booth.
Did you get to try that one out?
Yeah, it was rather interesting, but I'm not really that familiar with VR, so I was just kind of like fumbling around trying to make sure that I was bumping into the poor person standing
Yeah.
next to me, telling me what to do.
I do have PlayStation VR, and this is a game I'm interested in. I don't have the Move controllers because they're completely sold out everywhere. So that's my thing. If I can't use my controller, there's kind of be no point getting it because I can't get out of those things. But that's one that I'm excited about. It's kind of a bit of an odd one, isn't it? It's like I think with it going up against the D23 Expo, it was bad timing. I can understand why.
Yeah, because last year we actually had a 15-minute screening of Ralph Breaks the Internet with the producer from Disney Studios. So
Maybe next year.
I think we would have had the same thing with Frozen if it was a different weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully as well, maybe next year, because there won't be the D23. But then you got that
Yeah, hopefully.
Star Wars Celebration is going to be that same weekend next year.
And usually we'd have the Joe Bugs booth, but they've been pretty dead.
Yeah, it's
They've almost posted nothing on Twitter for almost a year now. All we do are those honestly stupid Cinebucks, which
yeah.
is just screen captures from the movies.
The way it looks like it's going with all the comic books of kind of Dark Horse and IDW, and Dark Horse seem to be the ones kind of picking up a lot of the.
Yeah, the only major comic book company there was DC, and it was mostly just a store.
Yeah.
And DK had a small booth. It was all products that were released before. There was like no major reveal like last year.
So was it? Was it worth you going? Did you enjoy it?
If you're a Disney fan, no. Even the Disney cosplay was majorly downplayed this year. Like I found a few of them, but every time I attended one of the meetups, there was nobody showed up.
Ooh,
It was all people waiting for the Harry Potter, the My Hero Academia meetups, and it was honestly embarrassing.
ooh, not good. It sounds like it was kind of not maybe kind of on par to previous events.
hmm
Which is a shame. Obviously, that was taking place on the D23 weekend. There was tons of news coming out of there, but I'm going to be honest. There was a little bit of It's like obviously we had a lot of part news, we had a lot of movie news, we had a lot of Disney Plus news. There was a few other bits and pieces that got revealed, but first off, like the Disney Plus stuff. Obviously, me and James we did a full episode last week, about an hour and a half, where we were going through all of the Disney Plus content in much more detail because that was our main thing. And then we did about another hour of podcast recording this morning on other parts of the there was So there's literally about 2.5 hours of us talking about Disney Plus. So definitely, if you're interested in that, go check out the What's on Disney Plus podcast, and you can kind of hear all the details on that. But from your point of view, what kind of caught your attention from the Disney Plus side?
Mostly just the Phineas and Ferb movie, to be honest.
Yeah, so no love for like She-Hulk and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel.
Honestly, I need to see more
Yeah,
because it's a TV show. It could easily look super bad, like that Inhuman show. Remember that train wreck?
yeah. I mean, I think Moon Knight will be all right. I think She-Hulk.
It might be a harder sell because basically it's the Hulk as a lawyer kind
Yeah,
of
the thing
thing.
I'm sure I can't. Was she in a cartoon when at one point?
She was in the second season of the '90s Incredible Hulk show.
See, that's what I think I remember her from because I do distinctly remember watching a cartoon series constantly as a kid, and that probably would have been it. I think that was because she was a major character. So I've got a lot more. Moon Knight, I know nothing about. Miss Marvel, I know a little bit about. I've played her in some of the video games and stuff.
Like I know Moon Knight is basically almost
Batman.
like their version of Batman in a way.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about them. Not too worried myself about the Hilary Duff reunion.
The Lizzie McGuire reboot and the Proud Family.
Yeah, see, wasn't I didn't have the Disney Channel at that age because
Yeah, we had those on Family here.
I think again it was that thing of when they came out a little bit older, didn't quite watch them, but also for us the Disney Channel was a premium channel that you had to have Sky Movies for.
Hmm.
So it was like pretty much to have Disney Channel, you had to have the most biggest satellite package available to get the channel. Yeah, and that's why a Disney Channel, I don't have that connection with all of this stuff because growing up, it didn't launch till a lot later, but it didn't.
Ours launched in 2012 here in Canada.
It wasn't as late as that over here, but it was not as early in the US. So yeah, so things like Hilary Duff. Yeah, we had that new Phileas and Ferb one, and there's a few other bits and pieces. Definitely, obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi. There was
Yeah,
also One Day at Disney, which is a new like short.
I remember people getting disappointed with that, thinking it was going to be some big Disney news, like a deal with Universal or
I think
talking about that island that Disney bought. It's like they thought that was going to be a secret project, but it turns out it was just a Disney Plus thing.
yeah, it was kind of Disney plus a book. And I think that would be a good little tie-in. But the idea that it was the secret announcement threw everybody off.
Yeah.
Got way too overexcited. And this is the thing of, I mean, the Disney Plus stuff. Obviously, I'm really interested in, and all the shows and all the movies. And the movie presentation was a little bit laxer because
It was basically stuff we already knew.
it was only really Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't remember hearing about that movie before.
I think they did a soft announcement a couple of months ago,
Yeah,
like just a title drop, and that's it.
yeah. So that was the only one I really remember being like, oh, that's something new and exciting. Obviously, we found out a little bit more about Soul, which was good. That kind of like an Inside Out kind of movie. I'm liking the fact that Pixar have got two fresh new movies next year.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Disney Animation would announce more of what's coming after Reina. Like in 2014 or 2015, they announced Zootopia, Moana, and Gigantic all at the same time.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is obviously what's going on with Disney is between Disney Plus and also rearranging all the Fox content because they were very open at the very beginning, going, there's nothing Fox related in here. And I think until they kind of sort out that, they might be moving things around a bit because obviously, if there's a few movies from Blue Sky Studios in there as well. And
Yeah, right now there's only like two of them coming out in the future.
yeah, I think it really depends on how they're going to view that franchise, that brand of if it's something they're going to continue with or if it's not. The fact that they put
Hmm.
two guys from Pixar and the animation department in sort of in the top end of it definitely seems a good thing going forward. But I did wonder what you thought of that.
I'm just a little bit worried, to be honest. Like, I'm just worried that they're just gonna shut down Blue Sky Studios out of nowhere if Sky Spies in Disguise ends up flopping because it's out the week after Star Wars. That's worrying.
Yeah, I mean, the fact they put these two guys in at the top of it, it's like you wouldn't do that if they were going to sort of can it, unless they just want
Hmm.
the last two movies have got a little bit of input from Disney and whatever they're doing. But I mean, they're presenting it online with all their other franchises at these big
Yeah.
events and stuff. So you would think that they would want to, if the idea of just buying out Fox and just canceling half the stuff was the plan, that they,
Yeah.
but I don't
And
know. It's just, but overall, I mean, we saw some stuff for the Eternals. We saw Black Panther 2 got announced, and obviously there was a little bit of information. But I think the trouble was that the Disney Plus event was showing off all those different trailers. We had like 6, 7 trailers break over like those 12 hours, and then
mhm.
from the Disney movie stuff, we saw nothing. Even the Twitter accounts weren't really. They were showing us
Yeah, there's no clips, nothing.
it was a lot lighter. It was very much along the lines of Disney Plus was the focus, and the movie studios was a bit like, okay.
I think the only thing we got in public was that Star Wars trailer. That's it.
Yeah, what did you think of that one?
I did not watch it, but I do know about the evil Ray thing, and it's just gonna be a vision. It's not gonna be something serious.
You know, it should be. I mean, I still think they're going to do the double turn.
And the evil C-3PO Red Eye thing.
Yeah, yeah. It was just a little bit like from the studio side. It felt a little bit lacking. It was almost
Yeah,
on the lines of they were like, we've got all these big movies coming out. We've already done the trailers for most of them. I mean, I would have thought maybe we would have seen something for like the trailer.
and that Frozen 2 clip they showed was shown at another event.
Mm. It's just I don't know. It's just an odd one, really. I think the Disney Plus was the focus, and obviously, I mean, you look at all the stuff from the event, that definitely was. But the movies kind of got lost a little bit in there, and then we had the park stuff, and
It was okay.
yeah, see, it was one of those things. I remember, like, I was like going through the things and going, "This feels really lacking."
It was mostly all stuff we already knew or were heavily rumored for months.
I mean, first off, you've got like the Spider-Man ride in California in Paris.
Yeah,
There's like Academy area and all this kind of stuff, and it was a bit
and the
like,
spider bots.
yeah, it was a bit like, didn't I was yeah, I think that was the problem. I was sort of sitting there going, didn't we already get told all this? I don't remember any of this being particularly new and groundbreaking. I mean, I was just looking here at kind of like the
It
information.
reminds me of Toy Story Mania in a way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got like the Pim Test Kitchen, and it's like, I don't know. Just looking here. I mean, Epcot.
That was leaked by the Paris documents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm really glad it's coming to Paris. I mean, that's definitely a good thing. Uh, but it's mainly Epcot. Kind of, they showed off what they're doing there. So you putting a Mary Poppins attraction into the UK pavilion, which I think
And people are upset about it because it's based on Mary Poppins Returns. It's not the original.
I think
But
it'll be.
it's
I think it'll be a mix of the two.
yeah, me too. It's just people are quick to complain about something.
Yeah, I personally, as someone that goes to the UK pavilion and is always bitterly disappointed,
Oh, Canada, don't get me started on the Canadian pavilion.
at least got an attraction. We didn't have anything. We got a pub.
We
Somewhere.
had more short and horribly dated jokes.
It was just like, it's like, see, I at least would go into Canada and like, oh, it's Canada, and then we do this show.
At least we're getting a new movie.
Yeah, I mean, you get a new movie, we would get Beaver Tales, and generally it'd be like, hey, it's good. You go to the UK,
Yeah, I miss having beaver tails there.
and you'd be there going in the UK pavilion, going, is this it? Telephone boxes that we've not had for
And Winnie the Pooh, that's it.
Winnie the Pooh, and it's like a fish and chip shop. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's all we are, and yeah. So I'm really glad that is coming in, and I'm really liking the. See, I'm coming in with this idea of Epcot of. I think this is exactly what the park needs. It needs an
Yeah,
uplift.
it needs the IPs to bring people in.
As much as this whole thing of the future of Epcot needs to, be in the future and being about science and Walt Disney's vision and all the rest. It's like, I just sit there and go, that doesn't make any sense anymore. Taking a family now,
People just aren't interested.
no, they don't want. If you've got an attraction or a tour guide around telling you about the future, it's all out of date before it even gets built. Whereas,
Yeah, that's the thing that happened with Tomorrowland.
yeah, I'm really liking
And
that you're going to have around Epcot. You're gonna have Moana, Frozen, Mary Poppins.
Hmm.
You're gonna have
All
Ratatouille.
sorts of stuff.
Well, we're gonna have all this stuff going in there, and that's great.
Yep. And Moana is not a ride that I was hoping it would be, but the whole thing with the water might be interesting.
Yeah, I just think having all this kind of content in there is. Ooh, is there something going on in the background there?
It's an answering machine.
All right. Yeah, it's just that kind of thing of, for me, of having IPs around the lake, around the World Showcase is a great way of, because I know when a couple last
But
year,
there is one thing that's bugging me about it.
yeah,
You know, in the concept art for that new fireworks show,
yeah,
it's always showing Hercules at the center of the ball thing.
hmm.
Yet they did not announce a Greek pavilion.
No, I think the trouble is, I think this new stage show is going to be showing off a lot of, because there's a scene I think with like a manta ray from Moana. They are, like I was saying, we went around last year and we had a couple of kids with us, our friends' kids were, and it was that kind of thing of like they're going from world to world and they wanted something. They were bored. They didn't have, and I know it's the World Showcase, and it's one of my personal favorite things to do: walk around the world, go have some to eat, go have some snacks, and then take in the relaxing side of it. We love going to Epcot for the World Showcase,
Mm-hmm.
but having an attraction at the back, out the way, you know, for each place is really going to change that World Showcase when we go back, and we've got Mary Poppins, Ratatouille. We're going to
Beauty
have
and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, all this stuff that's going to be there, and I'm expecting them to keep expanding. Obviously,
Yeah.
the World Showcase as well. That's not the World Showcase. The Future World X section is now being broken down into 3 different sections,
Thank goodness.
and I think that's a good thing. I think obviously with having the Guardians of the Galaxy ride rechanging, they're going to be changing the ball of the Spaceship Earth, giving that a refresh. And yeah, you can just see that they are looking now and going, right, this whole part. And I know this thing about IPs and people don't like it in Epcot, but it's what the audience wants.
It's what they want. It's what's needed because let's face it, Epcot has always had trouble with people coming back since the beginning. They had no Disney characters when it started. It was all those creepy It's a Small World kind of costumes going around, and then they had no choice. They had to bring in Mickey Mouse and all of them just to bring people back in. They even brought in Barbie as crowd control.
Yeah, to me, it's more about the park just felt missing the Disney side of things, is what people were
Mm-hmm.
talking for. And I know, Epcot as an adult actually became one of our favorites. As a kid, I didn't like it, but as an adult, it's one of my favorites.
Same.
But it was always the World Showcase. It wasn't the it wasn't the Spaceship Earth and all this stuff. It was just because that was everything. Half of it was closed, and it's basically just test track and soaring. And I always dragged everybody on Figment just because I used to like it. But the Finding Nemo ride. I mean, I don't think that's going to go anywhere for a while. But
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors, but no, it's not going anywhere. It's Pixar. It's going to stick around.
yeah, it's an IP. They're going to keep it there. I just think as a whole, Epcot needed this refresh.
There is one thing I'm surprised by.
Yeah.
They did not announce Coco was replacing Free Caballeros. I was expecting that because they had that poster of Mexico with the Coco characters in front of it.
Yeah, I'm. It depends really
And
on.
then they had another poster just for Free Caballeros.
Yeah, well, I think it might depend on how they start pushing the Free Caballeros TV show on Disney Plus.
That, or maybe they just meant for that, that mariachi show with the little puppet. I think maybe that's what they meant.
I mean, at least the thing is with the mariachi, the Donald Duck, right? It's got Donald Duck, and I think if they can use that cartoon, it might refresh it. I know when we went on it, and I took my friends and stuff, and the kids all onto the ride. They were like, "We've been here like loads of times. We didn't even know this ride existed," and it's like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily data bad, but it's it's an easy ride to get on. There's not a lot of queues. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, if they updated it, It's like they could update it to Coco, but I don't. It would probably need a lot
I
of work.
think there was supposed to be plans, but because Coco didn't hit 1 billion, they just stopped.
Mm. I mean,
That's the rumor that's been going around.
yeah, I'd love them to do something in there with Coco, but that ride takes some people on. It's never really a huge queue, but nevertheless, I'm just gonna have a look here, see what else we had there. Obviously, a bit more details about Guardians of the Galaxy. It's now called Cosmic Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Attraction that kind of goes backwards and stuff as well. And the Space Pavilion and the Play Pavilion, that's all going to be opening up. Obviously, they talked about there's a new Magic Parade at Disneyland starting in 2020.
Yeah, that logo is weird.
Yeah, we've also got basically the whole thing really is, but we still got that 50th anniversary. That's their main focus for 2020.
2021.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just reading there. It was set to planned to debut in late 2020. Disney Genie is a new app. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's what.
Oh yeah, another app. Yay.
It's like just do one app and do everything in the one app, and that's all. The more apps they put on there, the less likely you are to use it. They also confirmed that Mickey's Runaway Railroad is coming to Hollywood Studios in 2020, coming to Disneyland in 2022.
Yeah.
Utopia obviously coming to Shanghai Disney. We kind of knew that already.
Hong Kong, that was from March.
Yeah, the castle is called Castle of the Magical Dreams. It draws inspiration from 13 Disney stories. Hopefully, when I go and see that, there will be. I'm unfortunately going to miss that by a few months. And
yeah.
Also, they announced a new coaster called Wandering Oaken's Sliding Sleighs, which takes you on a winding journey through the kingdom.
Yeah, it's basically the Seven Dwarves, but reskinned.
Yeah, that's fine. And then they've got
yeah. Especially because it's going to be Frozen themed, so they can easily do it in the forest where they have like that wolf chase and that kind of thing.
They're also getting Frozen Ever After, a copy of the Maelstrom, the version of Epcot. Circus du Soleil is getting a Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Yeah, that's been known for a while.
Coming in 2020 with the premiere in April 17th. Unique Disney Lodging, a few other bits. Obviously, there was a bit of information about the Star Wars hotel, which
I'm honestly not excited about that, to be honest, because I know it's gonna be like $1,000 a night.
Yeah, I showed it to my wife. She wasn't. It's a bit like I don't know. Unless it actually looks like a spaceship from the outside, you know, it needs to look like a Star Destroyer or something like that from the outside. It can't just look like a thing, and then you walk into it, and then you're supposed to pretend that you're on a ship. It's got to look like a spaceship. I don't know. It's just, I think it's cool, but I don't know. I'm quite happy with a Star Wars themed hotel, but it's going to have to be very good, and they're going to have to pull it off a lot, and it depends on the cost. It's just, but it's
also the fact they have like characters and droids running around. It's gonna be, it's gonna have to be something mind-boggling to catch people's attention, especially considering there's like 100, 200 rooms. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be a super deluxe room, and we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think it's something I'll ever do, and if you do, it's probably ever only going to be like one night of your vacation. You might do it for one night or something like that. It's not.
Yeah, I think it's 2 nights and 3 days if he said in the press release.
Yeah, I mean, it's like from, you know, like when and you're probably much the same, that, you know, when I go down to Orlando or anything like that, it's usually like a 2 to 3 week trip. So
me, it's usually a week.
Yeah, the idea of going, it's like, 3 days in the middle of it's like I've already paid for a hotel for the rest of it, so it's like it doesn't really work. I mean, you can kind of do something, but it's going to be a hard push. And I'm really wondering, hopefully if they can get Star Wars back on track a bit, it might be a bit better. But generally, as a whole, I was a little bit like, a Mary Poppins ride. And that was it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I was really happy about was the new Disney ship getting announced as Disney Wish, and Rapunzel would be the mascot behind the ship.
Hmm.
I think the fact that that was the only thing that really made me happy just says a lot about how disappointing this panel was.
Yeah, it's one of those things because I've been like that whole week running up to going right. I really need to start looking at going to Disney the D23. I'm really there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. I should be there. And I did all the stuff for the Disney Plus on the first night. And I'm going, wow, I really need to be there. This thing is blasting. And then the next 2 nights, I'm like, they really didn't hit. It's like, yeah. I mean, it would have been cool to go to those panels, but like the park ones, it really felt like, no, we're holding back now for the 50th, and in 2 years we're going to do a massive announcement of the next. It's almost like they've got so much work going on right now. If you think between the stuff that's going on in Paris, all the Avengers stuff at Disneyland, they've just Galaxy's Edge just.
I'm surprised they didn't announce anything about the new Avengers roller coaster in Paris at all.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's again, I think the trouble is with Paris is we are years away from anything happening. So therefore, and also, again, the American D23 shows, they talk about the stuff happening in other countries,
And
but
they never talk about Tokyo because they don't own the park.
No, I'm really glad. Obviously, like the other parks are being mentioned, and that's the key thing, especially Paris now. But the trouble is essentially if it's not, they could announce the biggest upgrade to Paris or Shanghai possible. They could announce,
And no one would care. It's like, how come it's not in America? How come it's not in America?
Yeah.
I get those comments all the time. It's like, dude, don't be selfish. Other Disney parks need stuff for people to go to.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing of feeling like Disney is the only thing in America and that's the only one that exists, and forgetting that there are 6 other ones. There are 6 parks around the world, and I think unless you go to them or you're aware of them, you have a tendency not to even know that a lot of people don't even know they exist. I mean, when I say to people I'm going to the Chinese Disney parks this year for my vacation, they're looking at them and going, "You're doing what?" It's like, yeah, I wanted a really different Disney holiday. I wanted to do something completely different. I'm going to go to Hong Kong and Shanghai, and you're like, "Well, they've got Disney parks there." Yes, they do. And it's like
2 of them.
Yes, and it's like that kind of thing of like, because obviously Paris is advertised a lot, and Paris is the biggest theme park in the whole of Europe. There are more people in Europe than they are in Canada and North America combined. And it's just a kind of a, yes, we need some money spent on this park because it's been abandoned for 20 years. And we need some new money spent on it because it's fallen to bits. And it's like,
yeah, like Walt Disney Studios is easily the smallest park, and people tended to avoid it.
I mean, the fact that we've got that new Marvel area, we've got the new Frozen area, we've got the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge all going in. It's all great news. My problem was all this stuff, especially, it's like it needed to have started a long time ago. Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I was sat there the other day and the advert came on TV for Galaxy's Edge, and I'm going, open today. I'm going, well, actually, they're all queued up outside.
And I saw billboards of it in Toronto, actually. I saw billboards for Galaxy's Edge at Disney World. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's odd because I remember like Bob Iger sort of saying, "Oh, we don't really need to do any advertising." So you're doing a lot of it, and it's like, I know they're advertising it, but it's like that really weird thing, isn't it? Of like both Galaxy's Edge, like today, because my sister-in-law said to me, "Have you seen all the queues?" Because she's going in a few weeks. I said, "It was just." I said, "If you looked at the queues like today, they've really dropped." I said, "But there's that weird thing of everyone has been like, ooh, don't want to go there. It's going to be too busy." It was the same thing that happened with Disneyland. They kind of hyped it up,
and then it just
stayed away because of it. And then there's like the second ride isn't open, and everyone's going, no, I'll wait 6 months. I'm not sitting there for 4. It's almost like the word got out from years and years and years of like Avatar and all these different attractions, and now that people are holding off. And it's like the 50th anniversary. I wonder how many people are going to hold off on that for that reason. That kind of idea of, will people not go because it's going to be too busy? Maybe they go.
Yeah, I'm not going to Disney World until the 50th for that reason. It's like there's really no reason to go.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you've got Ratatouille and Guardians all opening up, and
Like me, I've just mostly been doing cruises instead of going to the parks because it's the parks honestly don't really interest me much anymore.
no, it's that kind of weird thing, isn't it? Of like you've got it's obviously as well with us being international, we have to spend so much more to go there, and it is a long vacation. They're expensive vacations, and you want to do something. Sometimes you do want to do something different. I mean, it's like yeah, well, I've really changed it up this year because it's like no, I don't want to go to Florida for a few years because it's like I'd rather go to California. I'd rather go to Tokyo.
Yeah,
Kind of
same here.
mix things up a little bit. It's like see some other places, and that's not me saying necessarily that I know I'm going to go back to Florida, but 3 to 4 or 5 years between them gives you a chance to have new attractions. I know people go multiple times and go all week, but for us, it's
Yeah,
vacation.
me, it tends to be like every 2 to 3 years.
Mm. But then,
So
yeah,
I started considering maybe going to like California or something in the future.
yeah, I think it's. I mean, we've talked about it as well of going to California, doing Disney for a few days, but then having like a week off doing other bits as well. And I don't know, it's the kind of thing of like I'd go back to Florida tomorrow and have I know I'd have an amazing time, but our tourists having the same problem as like what we're saying of going, it's a lot of money and we could do something else. And the queues and the busyness, is it kitting in? Like I said, it's a bit of an odd one. I mean, yeah, you could look at me and go, well, you're going to two other parks, so therefore Disney's still getting their money. But it's not the same as I don't know, it's very strange. And I am wondering if Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is kind of the catalyst for people to kind of go, "Ooh, no, I'm not sitting there in those queues. I'll wait." Because Avatar's still really busy, and I know there have been a lot of comparisons of like already of the queues of Avatar, the Flight of Passage,
Yeah,
higher than Smuggler's Run. And I'm going, yeah, but what's the capacity? Isn't the capacity like a lot much more higher for the Star Wars Smuggler's Run? They can really sort of squeeze people in there.
I'm honestly not sure. I know it's like six per car, and I think maybe there might be 12 cars.
Yeah, I'm really sure there's a big difference between the two. So we've got Flight of Passage uh, capacity per hour. That would be kind of yeah flight. And I do think yeah. So the flight capacity for Flight of Passage is 1,400 people per hour. So
I
1,000.
got 1,800 hours on my site.
This was just put into Google. So that's what Google's put in. So let's now do Smuggler's Run. And oh yeah, so the capacity has 1,800 for a Smuggler's Run. So that's an
I'll
extra.
check for Flight of Passage.
If we just go off like the very first top Google result, that is an extra 400 people per hour.
Yeah,
That's quite a lot of people.
I
That's
didn't realize it would be so many people on a ride. It's like you just never think about that kind of thing. Like Expedition Everest, for example, it's 2,000 per hour. It's
that's a
crazy
lot.
how many can go on a ride.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? If they can get the capacity right, I'm hoping like with Rise of the Resistance as well, that might be a kind of a high capacity ride. This is what they need. I mean, it's like why these rides work, and when you go to like the Despicable Me thing, it's so slow and there's hardly any, and that can make a massive difference. But maybe that extra 400 people per hour, that's still a lot of people. If
Hmm.
you've got 400 people up in a queue, that's a lot of people lined up. It's like so that's definitely kind of might be one of the reasons why it's soaking up more people. And again, if there is just low capacity because of people avoiding, as I know there's some really good deals. We nearly went this week. We were this close to going this coming week. Um, and I actually said no, I don't think it's a good idea with Galaxy's Edge. It might be busy. I don't think my wife's going to like it. She said, "Oh, you can
Mm.
go in by yourself." And I'm like, "No, we went last year. We're going to eat. We're going to China. Let's do something else." So it was that kind of weird thing of like going. There were some really good deals. They were throwing in food, they were throwing in the park tickets, and we're going. I've never seen the ticket prices or the offer prices they were coming in at. I'm going, and my wife was going, "Why is this price so cheap?" I said, "Because it's their week. The Galaxy's Edge has left people not going, and also people are holding off for the 50th."
And also, it's hurricane season, so prices are going to be low for the next few months.
Yes, it's that kind of thing of like, yes, it's gonna be. Well, we always tend to go in September, October anyway. So, our hurricane season's like sort of 3 to 4 months of the year. We're Brits. We're used to the rain.
Yeah, I was honestly this close to booking a cruise in September or October, then I was like, oh yeah, the waves are gonna be super rough compared to on dry land where it's just rain. That's the least of your problems.
But there we go. So that kind of, I don't think there was anything else really that kind of caught my attention from the D23. What about you?
Not really. I was just honestly surprised we didn't announce the Brazilian pavilion because that's been rumored for years, and especially with the current timing, I'm just thankful they didn't because of the whole fire in the Amazon rainforest thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It was just overall. It was like if I take Disney Plus was the weekend. If it was a bit like for like me, I was so busy that weekend. I was doing so many articles, so many videos for the Disney Plus website,
Yeah,
and
I was busy with Fan Expo, so I had to wait until nighttime to catch up on the news.
yeah, and it was just like it was just like the buzz just seemed to just kind of go and get sucked in. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just like two or three sites reporting everything.
Yeah, like again, it just didn't really seem to hit that excitement. I think a Mary Poppins attraction, and we don't actually know what it is. We've got
Nope, they didn't specify what it was.
it's literally just you got to go in there and you're gonna um, get a chimney sweep and clean a chimney, and then
Clean the entire park. There you go. And
yeah,
here's your fast pass so you can get your mop faster.
yeah, and or you're gonna be the Jack Lighting, and you got to walk around World Showcase turning on all the lights.
Or they somehow figure out zero gravity and you recreate the rooftop tea party scene, and then you go drink around the world upside down.
It's just I just can't work out what they're. Are you going to be on an attraction or is it going to be a show?
I think it's gonna be like some sort of a dark ride where you're like on those little horses, and it's like going through like the scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just very odd, but they didn't really announce any details. But
Mm.
nevertheless, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Go check us out over at diskingdom.com. Like, follow, and subscribe. Matt, where can they find you?
They can find me on my YouTube channel, Matthew LeBlanc. So I mostly just do travel blogs, and sometimes I post other stuff.
Oh, and there's one other thing I just wanted to talk to you before we headed off. That I just noticed it. It was on my list. The Aladdin and Lion King repackaged on all the consoles coming in October.
Why did they not announce that D23?
Yeah, but it's like they talk about like remastered and stuff, and I'm like looking at that going,
It's basically the Disney Afternoon Collection again.
yeah. I was a bit like,
It's the
okay,
same company.
yeah. I was a little bit like when they were talking about the remasters. I'm going, oh, well, this Ducktales, and that's like, no, this isn't a Ducktales on this.
They need to word it better.
Yeah, because Ducktales remastered was so good, and now this one's
And yeah, but it sold poorly. Oh, that's another thing. It just got delisted.
yes, yeah. They put well. Apparently now they've got a new guy running the Disney Games department. Who used to work over at Sony. So there's a lot of talk of them kind of getting back into.
Yeah, I think I hope that it sells well so we can see some more Disney Classics compilations in the future.
Yeah, I'm a bit like I might pick it up, but
I'm waiting to know what the price is. Like, it's rumored to be like $30.
if it's yeah. The trouble is they only recently got re-released on GOG, and I
It
kind of
got taken down.
did they take them down again from there? Have they not?
Yeah, they took it down this year apparently, according to some comments.
Yeah, it's like
And those were the DOS versions.
yeah, they were the DOS version. So I mean, I probably will pick them up, but it's not like I mean, they're really good
It's
games.
like Genesis, Game Boy, Super Game Boy. For Aladdin, it's the trade show demo version, and there's something called Final Cut, which we have no idea what it is yet.
I mean, I'm all happy for them to re-release games. And I do think that
But people are miffed that the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin is not on here, but it's because that's Capcom, and I think that they just lost the Disney rights because of the whole DuckTales delisting thing, and hope.
yeah, I think
I'm predicting Disney Afternoon is going to be delisted soon as well because
see, I'm not.
there's been nothing for 2 years from Capcom that's Disney, so it's safe to say that their rights are gone.
Well, I see. I as a Genesis, I had the Genesis, and my brother had the Super Nintendo. So I actually had. I'm pretty sure I had the Genesis version of Aladdin. So it, I kind of it's that thing of like the between the two, like that's what I was used to anyway. So I wasn't really worrying. It just depends on the price. It's probably going to be a Switch purchase because
I'm surprised it's even getting a physical release.
yeah, I don't know. It's a very tricky to kind of to me like a 20-odd euro game. I mean, I literally only just traded in Aladdin.
Yeah, to think, I would personally would have included the other Virgin games like Jungle Book and Pinocchio on there to make it to make it more worth your buck.
Yeah, a nice little collection. I don't know. I'm glad with it. I'm glad they're doing something. But at the minute it just feels a lot like we've got so little out there. We're just going to put this out because these could have been released
And the cover is lazy. It's just the Blu-ray packaging artwork for Aladdin and the 2015 Lion King Blu-ray.
Yeah, I saw it come up and I was like, yeah, that doesn't really.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be fake.
Yeah, I was just like, when I saw what it was, it's like, oh no, that's not a remake. I mean, it might look nicer, and I'll be glad if I've got the replay version. I might be able to get past like the second or third level of these games because I never.
Yeah, because there is an option where you can watch someone play it, and then you can just jump in at any time. So you can watch somebody play the monkey level, and you just funny, go really. Past.
It's both with Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and Duck and Tails and the Duck Get Tails game. I actually finished Rescue Rangers because of the backwards. And it's so weird because that was the very first video game I ever brought on a very first console video game I ever brought when I was about like 9 or 10, and I never finished it. And it was that kind of weird thing of going, you know, like here we are, like nearly 25 plus years later, and I finally finished the game. So,
yeah, I just bought DuckTales during the weekend. By the way, I found a copy of the NES game for $20.
I think again, I've got the Disney Afternoon collection, the recent one they brought out a few years ago, and it's like that's enough. I probably will pick up this pack, but I probably might wait till the maybe the Jack Christmas sales. I'm not in a rush to buy it. It's not like a day one purchase for me.
Yeah, I think my biggest waste from Fan Expo is those little Princess blind box thingies.
Oh right, yes.
And I ended up getting the Ariel one, which was available in the free set with Ursula and Prince Eric. And do you want to know what the price was for it at Fan Expo?
No.
$40. $40 for 3 of these little things.
Ooh, they saw you coming.
And this was like $6 for a blind bag thing.
Oh, not good.
It's ridiculous.
Right, on that note, guys, again, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode, and we shall see you guys in another video. Laters.